guess who's back? It's Bubba G. And Bubba G is teaching Bible basics for all those who want to know, but especially those 10 and under, because you need to learn the Bible. In the last video, we were looking at the prophets. Yes, the prophets. Remember? We took a look at Isaiah. Yes. In this video, we're gonna see another message Isaiah gave to the people. Where you at, Bubba G? I'm in Isaiah chapter 7, verse 10. Because let me break something down to you real quick. Like I said before, remember the prophets were giving the messages during the time of the kings. Remember, because the kings were doing evil. They were sinning against the Lord. So God was sending his messengers, who were the prophets, to give them a message to warn them, turn away from the evil, or bad things will happen. Remember, I said it's not good to be evil. God will leave. He said, I am leaving. I will not stay. I can't be with you when you're evil. You forgot me. I'm the one who brought you out of Egypt to the Red Sea. I fed you manna in the wilderness, in the desert. Gave you quail from the sky, water from a rock. Took care of you. Put you in the desert. Brought you to the promised land. They forgot me. Bad. Terrible. We're going to see another message that God is giving his people through Isaiah. Chapter 7, verse 10. The Lord sent another message to Ahaz. Ahaz was one of the kings. Ask the Lord your God to give you a sign. It can be from deep in the world of the dead or from high up in heaven. Ahaz answered, I will not ask for a sign. I refuse to put the Lord to the test. To that Isaiah replied, listen, now descendants of King David, it's bad enough for you to wear out the patience of people. Do you have to wear out God's patience too? Well then, verse 14, the Lord himself will give you a sign. A young woman who is pregnant will have a son. And will name him Emmanuel. By the time he is old enough to make his own decisions, people will be drinking milk and eating honey. Even before that time comes, the lands of those two kings who terrified you will be destroyed. The Lord is going to bring on you, on your people, and on the whole royal family days of trouble, worse than any that have come since the kingdom of Israel separated from Judah. He is going to bring the king of Assyria. When that time comes, the Lord will whistle as a signal for the Egyptians to come like flies from the far east branches of the Nile, and for the Syrians to come from their land like bees. They will swarm in the rugged valleys and in the caves in the rocks, and they will cover every thorn bush and every pasture. Verse 20. When that time comes, the Lord will hire a barber from across the Euphrates, the emperor of Assyria, and he will shave off your beards and the hair on your heads and your bodies. Wow. When that time comes, even if a farmer has been able to save only one young cow and 2 goats, they will give so much milk that he will have all he needs. Yes, the few survivors left in the land will have milk and honey to eat. When that time comes, the fine vineyards, each with 1,000 vines, and each worth 1,000 pieces of silver, will be overgrown with thorns, bushes, and briars. People will go hunting there with bows and arrows. Yes, the whole country will be full of briars and thorn bushes. All the hills where crops were once planted will be so overgrown with thorns that no one will go there. It will be a place where cattle and sheep graze. Wow. So, what do we see? Isaiah told that king to ask for a sign, but he didn't want to do it. But the prophet Isaiah said, the Lord himself will give you a sign. A young woman will become pregnant, and she will have a son, and his name will be Emmanuel. Keep that in mind. Okay, now we're going to read about something else that happened in Isaiah. Where are you at? Chapter 9. Let's see. Let's start. Let's go back. We're going to be Isaiah chapter 8, verse 21. The people will wander through the land, discouraged and hungry. In their hunger and in their anger, they will curse their king and their God. They may look up to the sky or stare at the ground, but they will see nothing but trouble and darkness, terrifying darkness into which they are being driven. There will be no way for them to escape from this time of trouble. The land of the tribes of Zebulun and Naphtali was once disgraced, but the future will bring honor to this region. Now Isaiah is going to about what's going to happen in the future. He's a prophet, see? Prophets can look into the future. God gives them visions, and they tell the people what they saw. Yes. But the future will bring honor to this region, from the Mediterranean eastward to the land on the other side of the Jordan, and even to Galilee itself, where the foreigners live. Verse 2, the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. They lived in a land of shadows, but now light is shining on them. You have given them great joy, Lord. You have made them happy. They rejoice in what you have done, as people rejoice when they harvest grain, or when they divide captured wealth. Verse 4, for you have broken the yoke that burdened them, and the rod that beat their shoulders. You have defeated the nation that oppressed and exploited your people, just as you defeated the army of Midian long ago. The boots of the invading army and all their blood-stained clothing will be destroyed by fire. A child is born to us. A son is given to us. He will rule. He will be our ruler. Let's go back. Isaiah 9, chapter 6. A child is born to us. A son is given to us. And he will be our ruler. And he will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His royal power will continue to grow. His kingdom will always be at peace. He will rule as King David's successor, basing his power on right and justice. from now until the end of time. Ooh, the Lord Almighty is determined to do all this. So what do we see? We see Isaiah giving a prophecy of a future king. Yes. Yes. Future king. He said a child is born. A son is given. He said a young woman will give birth to a son. And we shall call his name Emmanuel, our future king.